I'm Scott Anthony Smith, and this is your Daily Sports Fix. It's time for our weekend roundtable, and it's all about the New England Patriots. We're counting down the hours to the big game and wondering what's going to be the big story with Super Bowl 49. Will Tom Brady and Bill Belichick take the Patriots farther into the record books, or will Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll be the first Super Bowl team to go back-to-back since the 04 Patriots? All that and more coming up, but first, get your quick fix. So get your game faces on. We'll be right back. Welcome to your Daily Sports Fix. I'm Scott Anthony Smith. It has finally arrived. Super Bowl weekend is here. It's been a long week of interviews, speculation, inflation, deflation, hot air there, cold weather here, but finally we have made it, and I know everyone here wants to talk about it. My roundtable guests today include Patriots superfan Danny Simmons, Associate Sports Director at Courier Publications, Mr. Mark Haskell, and our new guest, Kristen Falla, Patriots superfan, supermom.
Thank you.
That's it. All right, so let's dive right into this. All this week, Patriots, Seahawks are in Arizona. They just had Media Day on Monday. So let's talk about what the Media Day was. They had interviews all over the board. All the players were available. The coaches were available. Danny, what were some of the highlights of Media Day for you?
Well, the biggest surprise for me for Media Day was that they didn't ask the players a lot about Deflategate. They asked them totally different questions, what I saw. I mean, they asked Bill Belichick what his favorite puppet was. They were talking to Gronk about some crazy book that someone wrote about him.
Yeah.
You know,
Read an excerpt, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and I'm not going to repeat it because it was pretty bad. I thought it was a good Media Day, and I think they've put Deflategate behind them, and I think they can move on from here.
I mean, well, the Players Association has asked them to kind of put off any conversation anymore, to reserve the comments, and let's focus on the game, and I think there's, on top of all the controversy, I think that there are people that want to get on with the game.
So now we really are on to Arizona. Yeah, that's right.
On
That's
to
right.
Seattle. Arizona.
Right, Seattle.
On to Seattle.
Right. All right, Mark, what about you?
I thought the Rob Gronkowski thing was pretty funny, and I also saw something where Tom Brady was handed a cup of noodles.
It's some superhero from Nickelodeon. He's at like every sporting event that I can think of, and you just see him running around with his cape and a mask and his little underwear over his pants, and he's, here you go, here's some chopsticks and noodles.
I've got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old at home, so it's not like I shouldn't know who it is. But
right. Is it Wonder Boy?
No,
is that his name?
It's not SpongeBob or Umizoomi or any of those guys. I can tell you that for sure.
That's a new one.
You looked like a weirdo.
Yeah, that was awkward.
There was a lot of weird people at Media Day yesterday. There really was. There was a guy walking around with a barrel around him.
It was kind of like
big old hat on.
It was kind of like Comic-Con, but for football.
It was.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's got to that point too. You've got some serious people there, but then you got some of these goofy people. Kristen, what did you think about the Media Day? Now, have you ordered this book yet? I mean,
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Come on.
No,
Birthday's coming up though.
Oh, well, there
You're
you
going to
go.
get it now.
Yeah, no, I thought it was pretty good. The one thing about Media Day is I understand that it's $28 and you basically anybody can go in. So it is a kind of a Comic-Con type of look to it, but I actually thought Gerard Mayo's little girl was pretty darn cute, walking around and asking light questions and asking Vince Wilfork if the Pats won, if Vince would take her to the Super Bowl. I mean, no, sorry, if they won the Super Bowl, that she could go to Disney World with Vince. I thought that was pretty cute. So,
That is pretty good.
I think it's fun.
Disney World on Vince for everyone.
There you go. He can afford it.
All right. So in trying to look at what the feel is, after this week, I think there was a lot of hype, obviously, for the Seahawks because of Deflategate. We've been giving all this, negative attention to the Patriots, and the Seahawks have been eating that up. But I think the bigger thing now is now that we've put it on the back burner for a little while and they're focusing on the game, I think you're starting to see this transition of attention go more towards the Patriots. I'm hearing, like you said earlier, Danny, more players now that are starting to think, I think the Patriots will take this. I think the Seahawks think they're gonna take it because they've got that feel about them right now, especially after coming back and beating the Packers. But what are your thoughts on some of the Patriot talk right now? I mean,
well, I've seen a lot of players that have played against Seattle this season go to the Patriot side. Mm-hmm. Seattle haven't played a quarterback like Tom Brady. they haven't faced an offense like New England. And if you look at Seattle's offense, they're run first all day long. So I think if Pats can corral that offense of running, I think they beat Seattle.
Yep.
I really do.
What about you, Kristen?
I agree. If they can maintain Marshawn Lynch, I think that the Pats do have a really viable chance of winning. The one thing that I just thought was a little bit of hot air was that the Seahawks thought that they could contain Gronk, and they think that Gronk really isn't that
lame,
good.
right?
Yeah, so I think Gronk's going to run all over him all
They're-
day, and it's going to be great.
Wasn't that their backup corner that said that Lane? Said he wasn't very good.
Yeah.
He was about average, doesn't like contact.
Yeah, Gronk doesn't like to get hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like in the Eagles Super Bowl when Freddie Mitchell was, I didn't know Rodney Harrison's name. It's like, come on, what are we
Right.
doing? Why are we agitating the Patriots that badly?
Right, only the best tight end in football. Why would you say that?
But I think that the Patriots have a little underdog kind of thing going on here. Not that the Patriots are the underdog. I mean, these are two juggernaut teams respecting their conferences.
Right.
But I think we were talking about it off air. But I think Earl Thomas, coming in on Gronk and how he plays in those schemes, I think that's going to play a big part. I think it's going to be a good game, and it could be a monumental game. I mean, this is one of those games that people are going to be talking about for a long time.
Yeah.
I think that either team is capable of winning, but you kind of have to give the edge to New England with everything that they've overcome. They kind of seem that they've turned the page, and now they're moving forward. You said the line moved. It was Seattle by however many now. It's Patriots by 2?
By one.
By 1. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of people are liking the Patriots.
Right. No, looking forward, I mean, we've got some of these injuries that people continue to talk about. You mentioned Earl Thomas. He's still dealing with the shoulder injury. Richard Sherman. I mean, we obviously know he's one of their high-end players. There's a lot of talk around him. There's a lot of talk coming from him. But watching him, continue to play through the elbow injury against the Packers. Do you see him or Thomas having any trouble in this game, or do you see them being singled out, more in this game?
I think 2 weeks of preparation and 2 weeks of healing, when you got two guys like that, I think that's all they're going to need. I mean, might they not be 100% entirely possible, but it's not going to stop them from bringing everything they have in the game.
Right.
It'll be hard to see, if they can take advantage of those matchups or not.
Sure.
But I think they'll be ready.
Danny, I mean, do you see Brady throwing a few long balls Sherman's way just to make sure, if Amendola's out there or Edelman,
he only plays
that
the left
matchup?
side of the field, Sherman. So, I mean, you can't stay away from him. You can't just let him close down half of your field. You're going to get beat all day. So you got to go at him. You got to make him tackle. But I think he'll be fine. He'll be Sherman. I think Thomas is your big problem. I think his injury is far more worse than Sherman's.
Yep.
So I think you make him tackle early in the game. You go up there and make him make a play on Gronk or LeGarrette Blount and see if he's really injured. Because if he starts favoring that shoulder, then you got the middle of the field wide open. And
Right.
And that's Gronk's game, down the seams. And if you hit Gronk down the seam and make him come up and tackle, you'll know early if he's really hurt or not.
Yeah. Kristen, for the Patriots, I know we were missing Brian Stork, that center, in the last game. He's questionable. Brandon Browner, seems to be questionable. Everybody's questionable. They're
Brandon
always
Browner
questionable,
wants to
but-
play the Super Bowl, that's for sure. I think he wants to play against his old team, and he's let it known that he wants to make some people hurt in that game. So he's ready to play.
Again, coming off a Super Bowl win with the Seahawks last
But he
year.
didn't
didn't
play.
play.
Right.
He was suspended.
Right, but I mean,
And
he
they
still
took-
gets a ring.
Right,
know,
but he went to the White House.
Yeah, they
and
they
they
dissed
all
him.
said Legion of Boom, and the only person that gave him any recognition was Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
He pointed at him and said, "Yeah, we remember what you did." So I think, he wants payback, and I
Sure.
think he's going to lay some people out.
And I think
I can't wait.
I think he wants to earn that ring
Oh,
in
yeah.
the game this
Yeah.
time. I think it'd be a good matchup. Obviously, Edelman and Gronk look great. LaFell, he's had a great season, but he's still questionable with a shoulder and apparently a toe injury. I don't see that being an issue. I think you're going to see a linebacker make a touchdown in this game. I think you might even see, who knows? I'd like to see special teams, pick it up on this one. I'd love to see Amendola have a return. I'd love to see Slater maybe have a return. So really quickly, I had noticed there was this one contributor for Forbes who said that Deflategate was one of the dumbest sports controversies ever. And in saying that, I want to make sure that we talk about Deflategate a little more and maybe how dumb it is. Can we
Very dumb.
Can we compare it to any other controversies that have been in the NFL in the past? But we'll do that right after this break. When we come back, we're going to continue talking about the day, but it's also going to be about the food, the family, the fandom, that we've all got some tips. I'm hoping they're steak Stick around with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to your daily sports fix. We just ran the field with everything Patriots and Seahawks, and now it's time to get our game faces on. One quick thing I want to mention again about Deflategate. There's been so much hot air surrounding all of this news. You know, one of the contributors for Forbes said it was one of the dumbest sports controversies he's ever heard. I mean, can we compare it to anything else? I mean, is it really coming down to, you know, huge fines, you know, very obvious cheating evidence that's come out? We're just talking about some air in footballs. I mean, is it really that? Is it really that big of a controversy?
No, I don't think it is. I mean, the whole thing has been kind of ridiculous. But it all stems to Bill Belichick and his arrogance that trickles down to the Patriot organization. I feel like if it's any other coach, they probably get the benefit of the doubt and say, you know what, we don't know what's happened. But you know, when you've got a track record, I mean, what do they say? If it looks like a rat and it smells like a rat, it probably is. If it looks like he's cheating, the perception is going to be that they are cheating. And by they, I mean Belichick, and there's a trickle-down effect. I mean, they're trying to find a scapegoat right now, but all that aside, I don't think that it's as big a deal as it's being made to be. It's just because of who Belichick is and the organization.
Right. Kristen, do you think they've had a target on their back? Is it just Belichick?
I think so.
I mean, is it really the whole
actually,
organization?
I had to ask
No,
you,
or-
did you check the PSI of your football before
I think,
the game
I think
here?
Mark checked it last week. I think we might still be in trouble with that one.
That's regulation.
That's
It's
regulation.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
I've actually thought, after watching the press conference last week with Belichick, it's almost turned into the bulletin board material that Belichick always thrives on, to try to find something to rally his troops.
Sure.
And I think that's what the Patriots are now. It's us against the world. They think we're cheaters. And when you see Tom Brady play mad, he is just on fire. And I like seeing Tom Brady play mad. And he's going to come out and he's just going to let him have it for calling him a cheater.
And Danny, I know you're used to seeing that game face from Tom Brady and seeing how fired up he gets on the sideline. What do you think you're going to see from him in this game?
Oh, yeah, I think you're going to see those eyes that he's, you know, into the game, and he's not going to come out and throw a safety the first play of the game. You know, like the last Super Bowl, I think he's going to be into it. My biggest problem with Deflategate is, excuse me, is where's the paperwork that says what these balls were before they were tested at halftime? How do I know that the referees actually put a gauge on that football and knew it was 12.5 before the game started? All they did is grab the ball and go, yep, good enough, throw it out there. So,
No. And again, those are all the fine details. That's why they're saying we're really not going to know anything until after the Super Bowl. They really want to give this enough
don't think
time.
they're ever gonna
The
know.
latest news
I don't
now
think
is
they will either.
The
And the
latest
reason
news now
why-
is what? Go ahead.
The reason why I say that is now Bob Kraft has come out and backed his team.
Right.
And now Roger Goodell has to come out and face his biggest fan in Bob Kraft, and I don't think he dares to, because I think he'll lose his job. So now I think the Pats are going to have, after the Super Bowl, have this brushed under the rug, and nothing's going to come of it.
Right.
No fines, no loss of draft choices like everybody thought
Sure.
was going to happen when this first come out. I think it's a lot to do about nothing.
Well, no, the latest news now is that apparently there's video surveillance of one of the locker room attendants that had the footballs, and apparently he took a 90-second bathroom break. Obviously, and you were
A lot of
mentioning this
things can
before.
happen in 90 seconds.
Those balls cannot go out of your sight.
Right.
He has to keep those footballs with him. Fine, you go into the bathroom. Was he in there with a needle going bang, 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 and trying to get all those footballs down just a little bit? Or was he, you
Right.
know?
The problem with that is now they have video of him going to the bathroom for 90 seconds. But do they have history of that? That's what we're going to find out.
Right.
Does he do this every game?
How many times does he
Right.
urinate a day? That's what
Well,
I
no.
want.
How many games has he started
Sure.
the day out with him dragging the balls in the bathroom for 90 seconds?
But do
Then
the Patriots have the tapes, retaped every week afterwards?
Well, not
and
just home games, though.
So, I mean, you have
not
to.
just home games. You
Yeah.
have 8 road games, too.
Right.
Right.
Well, I guess
And
we'll
I
have to see what it
guarantee
is.
every
And
road
again,
game cameras
how much
on
farther
everything
back
like
are they
that.
going to
The
go to really
Patriots
see?
had
Right.
that tape and gave it to the NFL a week ago, so they knew what was on the tape. They
Right.
talked to the guy beforehand, and that was before you heard Belichick and Kraft come out and tell everybody, hey, we didn't do anything wrong. The Patriots weren't going to say that if they talked to the locker room guy and he's got a needle in his pocket. Like they know what's going on, and they
Well,
know they're
as
okay.
worked up as we're going to keep getting on this, we're going to move on really quick because Super Bowl Sunday is coming, and I want to know what everybody else is doing this Sunday. I know at my place, it's going to be we're going to be over at my parents' house, get all the family, going to sport all of our jerseys,
Nice.
going to have
Nice.
our teddy bears, everything that we've got out, run the whole gambit with it, So, Danny, what are some game day traditions that you guys have at your place?
Well, we usually paint our faces
Yep.
with Patriots colors. We all, my wife, my daughter, my son, we all get our game jerseys on, and we make a lot of food. And I got my little teddy bear sitting in front of the TV, and I put one of my Patriots jerseys across the chair. And
You don't wear this jersey during the game?
I don't. This jersey has its own chair in my house, and nobody else sits in this chair but this jersey.
It's totally rational.
And every time they do a good play, I high five everybody in the house, pinch the Bears' nose, and rub Brady's back. Now, if there's Patriots have a turnover, I take the shirt and I shake it out. And then I lay it back down.
Shake it off, shake it off.
Shake it out and lay it back down.
All right, Kristen, what about you? You got a couple boys at home, don't you?
Yeah, with twin 2-year-old boys, planning out a Super Bowl is not as much fun when you're, on your own planning out a Super Bowl.
Sure.
So option one was go over to my parents' house and be with the family, but I have a feeling my dad does not want to hear his 2 grandsons running around during the football game. So
he
think no, he does not. So I think we're going to go with the other folks that all have kids, let them go play in the playroom, and then halftime, bedtime, and then the rest of us get to enjoy the football
Yeah, we might
game.
have to talk about that after the show.
I know.
It's nice to see people that don't really follow the Pats all year long, that when they get to the Super Bowl, everybody starts coming together.
Well, that's the
I love
problem.
that.
Well, it's kind of like,
but you have
Easter
the
Sunday,
chit-chat.
every year.
It is.
You
Yeah.
see
It
the
is.
family come out to church on Easter
It
Sunday.
is.
You just,
It
you know,
is.
and
love-
the Super Bowl.
And we
I
do
love
it so
my friends,
often.
but my friends that don't watch football, I don't want to chit chat then. Like
Right.
I'll see you I'll see you next week. Like
Well,
I'll
you
talk to you
can't
on
talk
Monday.
during the commercials.
Right, I mean, it's a 3-hour event. No interruptions.
No, but yeah, the chit chat, and so that's
Sure.
that's my.
But when you got 2
catch-22.
kids at home, it's all chit chat anyway. I mean,
All
I've got
the
a 4-year-old and
time.
a 2-year-old at
Yeah.
home, and I'm probably.
We're
I don't
grooming
know.
our boys though. They know touchdown, they know football, and go
Yep.
Pats.
There
so
you go.
they- so
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. You're good.
My 1-year-old daughter right now will say touchdown. She'll say Tom Brady, but she says Patriots.
Oh.
But I'll still get.
We'll take it.
I'll
We'll take it.
I'll still get the field goal from her. Mark, what are you doing with your boys?
Well, we usually kind of have a rotating schedule of Super Bowls. We usually just kind of, see what's going on. I have a feeling I'll probably be going over to my sister's house. They usually have a pretty good spread of food over there, and my nephew will insist that I bring my buffalo chicken dip, and if I don't, he says don't come.
Wow.
So it really feels good when he says that. But yeah, I think we'll probably end up going there, or when you've got little kids at home, it really adds to the difficulty of enjoying the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
Changing diapers in the third quarter, you know what I mean? It just, trying to put them to bed and hoping that you're going to see those last couple possessions. So
Yeah.
Thank God for DVR.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I've got. I know my girls. My 2 daughters always have their jerseys. Even when my youngest daughter isn't wearing it, it's always nice to have this number 12 Patriot jersey that's about this big to just have out.
Right.
Because it's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you record the games?
I do record the games.
Do you?
Every once in a while, just in the middle of the year somewhere, I might just go back and be like, you know what? I feel like watching a good Patriots game today.
See, I did that
So-
about 3 years ago when they lost, and I haven't recorded one since.
Yeah, I think it's bad luck. You're assuming that you're going to like the end
Right?
of the game, and
So
then
I'm
you're just
like,
gonna record it and delete it
no.
immediately.
We call it
That's
media
it.
blackout for any reason. If you have to go on the DVR time and you're like trying to catch up, and it's like media blackout. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't look at your phone. 'Cause
Right,
You don't
right.
want any.
I've had to
Because
do
all
that
your
in the past
people,
at
the
work,
friends on
so.
Facebook that are writing little things of, oh, great touchdown from Gronk. Like, thanks a lot,
Right.
guys.
Don't tell me what happened on Game of Thrones.
Right, a Walking Dead, right? Yeah.
So I think we're going to take one more quick break. But before we go, we've got one quick picture that I want to show you that's going to be hanging up at my house during game time. It's very special. So stick around. I'll show you in just a minute. Big thank you to my roundtable guests today, Mark Haskell, Danny Simmons, Kristen Falla. And before we go, I told my girls I would make sure I put this up. This is going to be my girlfriend Katie and my 2 daughters.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Whip this up. I thought it was really cute because over here, number 3, Gostowski, my older daughter Natalie, said that for reasons of symmetry, she needed to add the 0 in front of that. So I thought that was kind of cute. So thank you, girls. Everything sports around here. You can check out the Sports Fix anytime on Time Warner 88, online at VStv.me, and on Facebook, and get your game updates from this guy at the sports page at villagesoup.com. That's all we got for you today. So for Mark, Ken's not here, but for Mark, Danny, and Kristen, keep your eye on the ball.
We miss you, Ken.
Go Pats!
Go Pats.
I can.